Good morning, little children. This is a task that I'm going to set today, and basically, because there's a lot of work involved, you've got 2 weeks. This week and next week are short weeks, 4-day weeks, because Friday is a holiday and Monday's a holiday for you. So this task you can do really over the course of the 2 weeks. And if you want to, it would actually help me if you showed me each section as you go, rather than waiting until next Friday and giving me it all because I might not get it all back to you by the end of Friday. But if you do a bit at a time, there are four sections to it, and maybe you could do one section today, one section, I don't know, on Wednesday or Thursday, and then the same again next week. On days where you think, oh, it's a bit quieter today, I can do this. Okay, so this is following on from last week, using commas. So a comma is a punctuation mark. This is a comma. Comma shows where to take a slight pause. Commas help us understand the meaning of a sentence. Okay, so we've got two sentences here talking about the shark. In the cold, dark, silent depths of the sea, the shark lies waiting. And if you notice, the first two commas are actually part of a list. They're a list of adjectives that describe the depths of the sea. Okay, and then there's a pause after sea. The shark lies waiting. Because you could actually have the sentence, the shark lies waiting, on its own. But what you're doing is you're describing the surroundings of the shark lying in wait. In the cold, dark, silent depths of the sea, the shark lies waiting. It's quite an effective sentence. And then you've got one which we worked on quite a lot last week, which has got the section in the middle which you can take out. So the shark, with its black back and white stomach, has a terrible bite. So you could just have the shark has a terrible bite on its own. You don't need to say that section in the middle. It's extra information. So there's a comma before it and a comma after it, as though it were in brackets. Okay, so here you've got practice. And in the first section, section 1, A to F, you are just putting commas in. You don't need capital letters and full stops because they're not full sentences. Okay? So they're not sentences. They don't need a capital letter and a full stop. They don't have verbs in them, which means they're not sentences. So a nasty, mean, spiteful man that is very much like in the cold, dark, silent depths. Okay? The second section, rewrite these sentences. Put a comma where the reader needs to pause. The pyramids which are in Egypt are enormous. So that is very much like the shark with its, excuse me, I'm choking, with its black back and white stomach, has a terrible bite. So there you have the pyramids, which are in Egypt, are enormous. It could just say the pyramids are enormous. So you now have to work out where to put these commas. Okay, let's move on to making sure. Punctuate these sentences correctly. Think carefully about where to put the commas. And this is much more like last week. So the first sentence, dogs don't wear glasses, do they? Okay, now missing from this is also capital letters, full stops, and any other punctuation marks. You can see that there's an apostrophe in don't. So you don't have to worry about apostrophes, just copy the apostrophes that are there. But how does the sentence end? How does the sentence begin? And then finally, practice your punctuation. These sentences don't make sense because some commas and full stops are missing or in the wrong places. Rewrite them so that they make more sense. The king walked and talked half an hour after his head was cut off. That doesn't make sense. You have to fix the punctuation, and only by adding full stops, capital letters, commas, or changing that sentence, or changing where they are in the sentence, can you make that make sense. So I don't want you to change the words. I don't want you to add words. I just want you to think about the punctuation so that that sentence makes sense. The soldier entered, on his head a helmet, on each foot a sandal, in his hand he had his trusty sword. Your job, I haven't helped you with my voice, I haven't used the right expression. So your job is to, again, punctuate that correctly. The giant had hairy feet, huge and flat on his head. He squashed his hat over his shoulders. He carried a club, big and spiky in his hand, a sword he waved. So there you can see that he's got huge feet on his head. You need to, again, rewrite that sentence, changing only the punctuation so that his feet are no longer on his head. Okay, and as I say, upload this through the week and through this week and next week, and see how you get on. Let me know how you get on.